Why, from sacking Mourinho on the 19th of April to now, have Tottenham gone on this crazy managerial circuitous route? Ryan Mason came in.
Yep.
Eric Ten Hag of Ajax was discussed. Brendan Rodgers was then discussed. Mauricio Pochettino, is he coming back? Antonio Conte's a clear front runner.
Yeah.
The talks broke down. Paulo Fonseca, he's going to get it. That ends.
Yeah.
Gennaro Gattuso, who would scare your next door neighbour, he's going to get it. He came and went, and now he's in. Nuno Espirito Santo. Could they not have spared themselves an awful lot of energy expended and grief by just saying what you said ages ago? That's the boy, get him in.
Yeah, I mean, an ideal world, but that's following the trail of thought that everything that we've just listed is a chronological order of events that actually happened. Brendan Rodgers, they wish they could get Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is settled at Leicester City, that are doing very nicely, thank you very much, and he's very happy there. So Brendan Rodgers was a fishing expedition that was never going to be one of any merit. Antonio Conte was a tyre. You kick tyres. You do, as an owner and as a chairman and as somebody that's trying to enact or exact an outcome that's far better than the one you just had. Espirito Santo was given to me by you in a conversation about 6, 8, 10 weeks ago in a list of people that Spurs should be looking at, and I went bang, I lighted on that one. That's the guy. He comes with his own set of challenges because I think he's difficult, like a lot of football managers, and I shouldn't complain about it because it's part of their DNA that there is an element of difficulty managing them, and even more so in this climate because they're now in a situation where the money and the expectation and the demands of football managers empower them so much that football clubs are almost grateful to have them. So the balance of power has changed.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But, you know, Espirito Santo sort of falls into the Pochettino camp where he's had a level of success at Southampton that afforded him the opportunity to go to Spurs, but not a level of success that makes him impossible to make him realise that the opportunity is as much his at Tottenham as it is Tottenham's in getting him. So when you've got that sort of feel about the Pochettino appointment coming into Spurs, you've got that same sort of a feel about Santo coming from Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are a great football club with great history and the Billy Wrights of the world that were England captain and that, you know, were poster boys for English football in the 50s. But Tottenham Hotspur is a different level, with the greatest of respect to Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're at a different level of expectation. They've got a new stadium. They've got levels of achievement in recent times that have been knocking on the door, not opening it to levels of success that Wolverhampton Wanderers would hope and aspire to get to. So Espirito Santo coming in to Tottenham doesn't have the same feel as an Antonio Conte, where the balance of power drops into Conte's camp because he's the proven winner, he's the guy with the credentials, and you'll give him what he wants or he doesn't come.
But is that not the key line, Simon? He's the proven winner.
Yes. And
Nuno hasn't won anything.
Yes, understand that. But you know, but there's a desire and a manageability, whether you like it or you don't. To manage managers requires either giving them exactly what they want, and that means that you've got to have a Sheikh Mansour mentality, which is basically you tell me what you want and I'll tell you how fast I can give it to you. Right? Or you have a different mentality, which is Tottenham's mentality, which is we have to cut our cloth accordingly. It's a big piece of cloth. It's much bigger than, you know, most clubs in the Premier League, but it's not quite as big as others. So when we're trying to fish in the big people's pond, and it's not champagne lifestyle with beer money, but it's a derivative of that. So Tottenham are trying to punch their weight in a sector of the division, which Leicester are achieving because they're running their club well and they don't buy bad players and they recruit decent managers. And even though Leicester went through a little period with Claude Puel and a couple of decisions that they made that didn't quite stack up to this particular sentiment, they've now alighted and landed on Brendan Rodgers and it's all systems go there. And Tottenham wants some of that model alongside some of the model of ambition and extravagant spending.
So what does Nuno give them essentially that Mourinho couldn't?
He's a good manager. He's
what, and Jose's not?
Well, no, but Jose Mourinho is a different style. I mean, they're both Portuguese, so there's a similarity in terms of being able to communicate similarly. But by the same token, Espirito Santo is at a different stage in his career to Mourinho. Mourinho is proven. He is not going to be shifted. He's not like Margaret Thatcher. He's not one for moving. In this instance, Espirito Santo is still a work in progress. He doesn't have the right to sit in a certain way as Mourinho has done and say, right, it's my way or the highway mentality. There might be just a degree of flexibility that Daniel can work with a bit more. Whether you like it or you don't like it, football managers are just employees and they do have to work for their boss and they do have to manage up. It's part of the modern football manager's responsibility, which is why I don't like Benitez to some extent.
Right.
Because he doesn't feel like he has to manage up.
So is Tottenham's gain in getting Nuno Everton and Palace's loss?
Yeah, I think so. I think that ultimately Everton wouldn't have done bad with Nuno Espirito Santo. If I was asked if I was Everton who I would have got, I would go back 2 years and I would have got Brendan Rodgers out of Celtic, and I'd have Brendan Rodgers in Everton and doing it for Everton what he's done for Leicester. But that ship has sailed. So to answer the question, is Everton's loss Tottenham's gain? Possibly. But Everton had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to talk to this fella. And I don't think he covered himself in glory with Palace, but then I suspect he had he was flying a few kites. He knew that Palace was a sprat to catch a mackerel, i.e., I'll look at Palace, I'll make myself look like I'm going to go there, and it'll probably close the other guys in. So, hang on a second, we're not getting these deals done. We bet a light on Santo because he's going to land at Palace. So there's an element of game playing, because we heard 2 days ago he was going to Fenerbahce. So Spurs have moved and gone, hang on a second, we can't get Fonseca. Which, by the way, I don't think was a good move anyway. Why would you want to throw the fellow out that you don't want to land at the club that didn't want the fellow you're bringing in? It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I mean, I did that once with Trevor Francis and Steve Bruce. It didn't work out very well for me.
How do you think Nuno's feeling about being 7th, 8th, 9th choice?
I think football managers have got hides like rhinoceros. I think Benitez going into Everton doesn't care, does he? The opportunity's mine. I'm going to take it, and here I go. And Nuno Espirito Santo, I saw his interview for Spurs TV. He said the things that I would expect him to say, but he also turned around and said, and it's interesting what Daniel's saying about working with young players. That doesn't bode well for big transfers. But what I heard him say was, "I'm going to make you proud," and okay. Because the argument with Espirito Santo is he plays a pragmatic brand of football. I'm not sure that's true. I think the resource he had at Wolverhampton Wanderers enabled him to play that way. If he's got a different resource at Tottenham Hotspur, he'll play to the strengths of the team. I think he's a good football manager.
And with Jorge Mendes around the scene, Ronaldo's agent, Mourinho's agent, with him around though, Simon, are Tottenham Hotspur going to turn into Portugal Hotspur?
Well, if that means that Daniel's going to be able to get discounted Portuguese players and play the prices that Daniel's prepared to pay, that's a great relationship. If it means that Jorge Mendes is going to be a pest in Daniel's ear and Daniel's going to get his pants pulled down, it's going to make no difference because Daniel's not going to have it. Daniel Levy doesn't do what Daniel Levy doesn't want to do. So you can bark at the moon as much as you want about Daniel Levy, his personality, his attitude, his outlook towards business, and what he thinks of Tottenham Hotspur. Daniel will do what he wants to do, and that's right, because he'll live and die by his own decisions, won't he? And I think it's a decent appointment. I think it's a decent appointment 2 months ago when I said it. I think it's a disappointment now, and I think Tottenham fans should look at it in the same way they looked at Pochettino. Mauricio who? Oh, Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah.
I think they'll have the same thing with this guy.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.